Good evening again, YouTube. It's your guy J Crew to you, coming at you with my second video here for September 5th, 2021. I want to come at you with another video here coming out of the sports world. It's been a topic that's been obviously discussed the past 4 to 5 days now, and it revolves around uh, our guy Cameron Jarrell Newton, the quarterback uh, who used to be employed by the New England Patriots as of right now. As you all know, if you probably have heard, Cam Newton was cut from the New England Patriots earlier this week, uh, and it was kind of a shocker because he was a starting quarterback there last year, but Cam really didn't have a good year last year. He was coming off some injuries from the 2019 season, and he also missed time last year um, due to him testing positive for COVID-19. And so Cam was just kind of like, in a weird space last season, due to the fact that, he tested positive for COVID-19. He missed some time with the team, and he was just kind of had a very mediocre year. Keep in mind, the year before, in 2019, Cam Newton didn't play that much that year, and he was still the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Keep in mind that he had some injuries he was fighting. I think he had a foot injury, and I think he also had a shoulder problem. And I think he had shoulder surgery as a result in the offseason after the 2019 season wrapped up. Or he may have even had it before the 2019 season was over. I'm not sure about that. But either way, with the latest news revolving around Cam Newton, it's kind of weird in terms of why we're here now, one of the NFL's most talented QBs. I guess I'm going to start over in terms of his career. Just give you a little background on Cam Newton for those of you who may not know too much about his background. He was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and he went to Westlake High School in Southwest Atlanta. And coming out of high school, Cam really wasn't one of the top. He was, I guess, recruited, but I won't say he wasn't one of the top recruits for his class. I think he was in the class of 2007. And I believe that he initially went to the University of Florida. He stayed there for a few years, and he really didn't play too much. I think he maybe got in a little bit of trouble. And he got arrested one time for some kind of weird old incident where he threw a computer out of a dorm room or something, and it broke. I don't know what was revolving around that issue, but it was some kind of problem he had in that area. But either way, he ended up going to a junior college, and he basically was a JUCO All-American. He ended up at Auburn University for the 2010 season. And what happened at Auburn was Cam had a really, really good year in his only year at Auburn, and he ended up winning the Heisman Trophy. And some people may know there was a bit of a controversy that erupted that year too, because of reportedly Cam's father had been trying to secure maybe some side deals to try to, in terms of getting money for to have his son play for certain schools. I don't remember exactly what came of that, but I know it didn't stop Cam Newton from playing for Auburn University. He kept playing. Obviously, he won the Heisman Trophy, and I believe they went on to win the national championship. So it was one of those things where it was like a dream-like year for Cam in some ways, and a nightmare year in other ways. Either way, the following season, in 2011, he declared for the NFL draft, and he was the first overall pick by the Carolina Panthers. He went on to be the Rookie of the Year, and he played several years for the Panthers up until really 2019, as I said before, and I'm not going to rehash that. He got hurt, and he basically didn't play in 2019, and ended up getting cut, and he was signed by the New England Patriots last year for the 2020 season for a 1-year deal. And as people can see, if you watch Cam Newton last year, he just didn't look right. He kind of was inconsistent. They tried to do the running and passing quarterback thing, like you might have seen with Lamar Jackson, but it just didn't work out too well for Cam. And I mean, I don't know if he was still trying to recover from that shoulder procedure that he had or whatnot, but he just didn't look right. He didn't throw the ball well, and it just wasn't Cam Newton. So this year, I was thinking, okay, they're gonna at least gonna have him on the roster throughout the season because, as you all know, if you have followed the Patriots, they drafted a kid by the name of Matt Jones, the quarterback that won the national championship for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And so Matt Jones drafted in the first round, but nobody thought that he would really overcome Cam Newton at all because Cam was a very experienced QB, given that he's been in the league since 2011. And people figured he was going to be rejuvenated, but there was some weird going on with Cam like over the past few weeks. As I said before, he tested positive for COVID-19 before, but it was reported that Cam never has really taken the vaccine since they become available early this year. He's never taken any vaccines, and when he was asked about it, he just said it was for personal reasons that he didn't take the vaccine. So there have been various stories floating around about exactly what's been going on with Cam, with Cam, and in terms of that. And I think last week or the week before last, now he was due to go through some procedures, that the Patriots have instituted for their players in terms of COVID-19 testing. But there was a mix-up with Cam where I don't think he did it or he went all the way through with it. I'm not exactly sure about the details, but something happened, and when he didn't go through those procedures like he was supposed to, they end up cutting this dude. I was like, wow, that was a shocker because I'm thinking at the very least, at least Cam Newton gonna have a job somewhere. But to see that he didn't, it was very, very strange to hear that he wasn't gonna be employed anywhere. And so it was just kind of weird to see that it kind of played out like that. And as you can see, I'm kind of scrolling up and down the screen here, and I'm trying to look for different points in this article where it addresses that. And as you can see here, and a portion of this article that's taken from the New York Times, it says in training camp this season, Newton declined to confirm whether he had received a vaccine against the virus, saying only that the issue was too personal to discuss. But after his medical appointment last week, he went through a 5-day process to rejoin the team that applies to players who are unvaccinated. Under NFL rules, unvaccinated players must be tested every day for the virus, as opposed to once a week for vaccinated players, and they cannot move around the team's facility or mix with teammates as freely as vaccinated players. But whatever happened with that, Cam was released. It was kind of a shocker. And something else that surprised me that I read was that they interviewed a guy. I think he was a former Patriots player, and this guy said that Cam Newton had to be assisted in terms of him learning the playbook. And what I mean by that is that they said the rookie Matt Jones was helping Cam Newton learn the playbook. And it just sounds odd. I mean, if Cam missed time from the team, I mean that might make more sense. But even if he missed time, he was there last year, and he's played in the NFL for several years. And I'm like, well, he's still on the roster. Why was Matt Jones having to help him learn the playbook? And I was like, man, that just sounds bad for Cam Newton. And it was just really shocking to hear. Afterward, he was released. I heard that maybe the Cowboys maybe should be looking at him, but I think they talked to the head coach, Mike McCarthy. He said, no, we're straight over here. We're good. We don't need Cam Newton. We're fine over here. And so I think even somebody asked Ron Rivera, the Washington Redskins head coach. I don't think he committed to bringing Cam Newton in to have a look at him. So Cam Newton is pretty much an NFL purgatory right now. He's kind of, in the air, floating in the air right now, not knowing where he's gonna land. And that's just so weird, man, to hear that in regard to a player who's been so good throughout his career, and a guy who's really, really been one of the more notable players. Because if you follow Cam Newton's career, he's always been a guy that's been seen as kind of like, a little bit kind of out there. If you follow him when he was in Carolina, Cam would come in and wear all these weird looking outfits. He was wearing women capri pants. One time his pants was so jacked up so high. He came in dressed up like the Pink Panther another time or something like that. He's always had an electrifying personality, and that alone tells me that I don't think Cam is gonna be a NFL backup for that long. I think he's too physically gifted, and I think he has a lot left in him to be to want to just end up sitting on a bench somewhere. I think he may have hinted that he's willing to do that, but how long though? I mean, just see a guy who's that gifted, who's once a number one overall pick, talking about being a backup. I mean, Cam Newton's only like 32 years old. He's a quarterback. Keep in mind, Tom Brady's like in mid-40s with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Drew Brees was like, what, 39, 40 last year when he retired or whatever it was. And so, guys can play into their 40s at quarterback. Cam, I think he has a lot left, but he's going to have to figure out where he best fits in for a team and then go there and compete for a job. So, hopefully Cam Newton can land on his feet. I think he will, but it's just a matter of when and where. I only wish the best for him, man, but it's just kind of weird seeing him be in this position. She got J. Crew to you, give my 2 cents on the Cam Newton situation. If you like the video, press the like button. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. Y'all have a good evening. We out of here.